Yep. All right. So I do want to ask you guys about the other game, the other big game that happened in the Big Ten tonight. That was Wisconsin going into the Breslin Center and leading throughout the entire game from buzzer to buzzer. Uh, Johnny Davis had 25 points on 8 for 11 shooting. And Wisconsin is out. They're not the same level of hype as Illinois or Purdue or some of these other teams in the league. But right now, they're tied for first place in that conference. Arch, I'll go to you first on this one. Well, how good is Big Ten? How good is Wisconsin? And can you trust them to make a run in March when they're kind of built around one guy?
I think you can trust Wisconsin. A little bit the same thing I said about Purdue. The way that they approach things, the way they practice every day, and how they prepare, they're always going to be just a miserable game to play in on both ends of the floor. Now, they may not shoot it well or have the firepower across the board to score consistently a lot, but defensively, they're always going to be tough-minded. And to me, Purdue's probably more disrespected this season than Providence. As much as Providence is getting a lot of credit, rightfully so, to be 20-2, Wisconsin is right there at 19-4, 10-3. They have 8 quad one wins, and they have an All-American on their team in Johnny Davis. And to me, when you look at Wisconsin, the one thing when they're like really good, they have that third guy is Tyler Wall. Mm-hmm. If you watch Wisconsin and you watch when they're able to get big wins like this or Purdue or in Maui when they won it, Tyler Wall becomes like the third double-figure scorer. He's sort of like a mismatch forward. He's a junior now. He's very physical, and he can post guys and get baskets. And I thought tonight that Tyler Wall being able to get double figures was a good step. But if he plays well, Wisconsin's usually going to be very difficult to beat. But I mean, right now, Wisconsin, they can make an argument they're a 2 seed with their resume. And I don't think a lot of people are valuing their body of work as much. And maybe they're not as sexy as some, but they're 10-3 in the Big Ten with road wins at Michigan State, road win at Purdue. And they may have the best player on the floor on any given night, depending on how Johnny Davis plays. He had 25 again tonight on the road. So Wisconsin's done a great job. And Greg Gard in October told me, I think we're going to surprise some people. We're a lot more talented than people think. And he was right.
You forget they won the Maui tournament. Maui this year wasn't in Maui. So I think sometimes it all runs together for everybody, but pretty good field. Houston was at full speed back then. Don't underestimate St. Mary's, Houston. Arch was actually there watching, and you win that. And you think about how Johnny Davis played in those games. They oftentimes will have the best player on the court. And when you have the best player that's on the court, it favors you in so many ways, especially when you do some other things well. Is Frank Kaminsky still there, or did he graduate? Do you know if Kaminsky is he still at Wisconsin at this point?
I honestly didn't know we were allowed to say that name when you were on the show. I thought that name was banned from.
I tell you what, never have I seen a college player be at one school for what seemed like 7 years of efficiency. I mean, he kicked ass when he walked in and he never left. Like he just stayed there,
Yeah.
What a
fun
great
fact,
college player.
Did you know that Frank Kaminsky and Brad Davison were actually in the same recruiting class?
Makes sense.
It does make sense. He's another one, right? I mean, just a couple of those guys at Wisconsin, you have to check the NCAA rules there. They've been there for 6 or 7 years.
Yeah. Well, listen, we got to head to a quick break here. Coming up next, I'm going to make the Millers talk about UConn.